Hello and welcome back. Okay, so today we are going to configure our own VPC. Yeah, in previous video I explained you what is the use of VPC, what is the default VPC, and I just deleted my default VPC. Yeah, so let me start with my screen sharing. Okay, I explained you about introduction and the default VPC, and in this particular section I deleted my VPC as well. Okay, so now if you want to create your default VPC, you just click onto the Excel menu and you can create this, but this time we are going to create our own VPC. Okay, now I just completed this topic, so I'm going to close this mind map, and today we are going to talk about this particular point number 3. Okay, now in this topic we are going to talk about VPC terminology. We'll understand the terminology, we will do it practically as well. Okay, so the first thing is like create VPC. Okay, now I'm having this chart view, so you can able to understand this, because step by step this process will be a little complex. Okay, so let me set my camera first. Yeah, so let me make it small. Yeah, because today I want everything. Okay, so first of all I can say that we are having this AWS cloud. Yeah, so we are having this AWS cloud first. Okay, and in this AWS cloud we are having availability like region. Okay, so let me select this region over here. Okay, and in the region right now, like I'm going to give this region because I'm in India, so I'm going to give name like AP South 1. Yeah, this is region. So inside cloud we have region. Done. And inside region we are having availability zone. Okay, so let me add availability zone from here. Yeah, this is availability zone. So basically in India we are having 3 availability zone. Okay, so one second. Yeah, this is availability zone. Okay, so I'm going to give this name properly. Yeah, so in India we are having AP South 1A. Yeah, this is our one availability zone. Here we have second availability zone. 1B, and here I'm having AP South 1C. Right now, actually when you are deploying your VPC, yeah, you are deploying VPC like this. Okay, so let me give you example of VPC. See this, we have this virtual private cloud. So basically you are deploying VPC like this. Yeah, this is your virtual private. Now this is your virtual private cloud, and below this it is my virtual private cloud. Okay, and this is like how we are logically defining our own isolated network. Okay, now how you can create this? So here is like very easy step. Okay, so you have to go to the AWS console. Yeah, you have to select this Mumbai. Okay, and then you are just going to click create VPC. Okay, and first of all you have to define the name. Okay, so I'm going to give name like my first VPC. Okay, and here you have to define IP address range. Okay, so let me go to the mind map and see this 5 point that you have to understand. Okay, first, a VPC span all availability zone in the region, not multiple region. Yeah, you cannot select multiple region. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, you cannot select multiple region while you are going to create VPC, but when you are creating VPC, actually it is spanning into the multiple availability zone. Yeah, by default the boundary is region, right? This is I explain you using this drawing. Done. Now second point, when you create VPC, you must specify a range of IP address for the VPC in form of the CIDR block. Yeah, you will get detail, you will learn CIDR and everything in this IP address master class. Yeah, if you are coming after this, it will be really good. Otherwise you have to provide IP address range over here. Yeah, let me go over here and you can provide. Basically we have to provide fake IP, and in some case we can provide live IP address as well, but for today I'm going to provide fake IP address, like I'm going to provide private IP address range. Yeah, a CIDR block size must be between /16 net mask and /28 net mask. Okay, so let me assign IP address right now. Okay, I'm going to use a 192.168 series that we are using in a normal circumstances. Yeah, so I'm going to use like 192.168.0.0/24. Yeah, now keep this in mind, this range must be in between /16 to /28. Yeah, let me try with the 15. Yeah, but when I will click OK, it will not accept this. Okay, so yeah, right now it can, but when I click, so the range must be in between /16 to /28. So I'm going to use /24, right? This is the normal standard that we are using in on-premises network, right? You can set up to 5 CIDR range into the single VPC. So whenever you are creating, it will give you option to add only one range. But yeah, if you want to add more range, you can do it. Okay, and how we can do it, that I will explain you in the upcoming session. So don't worry about it. We are going to start with this. Okay, now we'll talk about IP version 6 later, so don't worry about it. And the final is tenancy. Okay, so this is about the tenancy. There are two type of tenancy. When you go over here, we have default and we have dedicated. Now when you click over here is the default. Okay, you can run instance in your VPC on a multi-tenant shared hardware. Yeah, so like networking components and everything will be like a shared. And if you want more security, if you want if you want to spend more money, you can create a dedicated. So there will be the own specific hardware. It is a single tenant model. It means no one will share your hardware. Okay, so yeah, if you select this, you have to pay more charges. Okay, so I'm going to select default and then I'm going to click create VPC. Yeah, so here is my VPC. It is done. Okay, this is not default VPC. So when you go over here, yeah, default VPC, it is no. Okay, and when you click over here, you will get detail about your VPC. Okay, this is VPC ID. It is most useful if you have multiple VPC. Yeah, you can create multiple VPC. Okay, so you will get detail about this, and you have to remember VPC ID when you are going to use from the CLI as well. Okay, and these are the DNS name, host name. We'll talk about all this. Okay, and here we have this CIDR range. Yeah, so this is the range that we are using, and I already explained you can add up to 5 range. Okay, so let me explain like how can you define more range. See, here is like edit CIDR range. Okay, now keep this in mind, you cannot edit existing CIDR range. Okay, there is no way to remove this. Okay, so you can add new range. It is like, it is up to you. So let me add another range. Okay, 192.168.0.0/24. See this, you cannot add a duplicate range. Okay, for example, I'm already having 0.0, so new range should be into the different network. Okay, this like IP address cannot belong to the same subnet, so keep this in mind. Okay, so like it cannot accept this because it is existing. Yeah, so I'm going to add like a 1.0. Okay, and then save. Okay, I'm going to add quickly, like I want to explain you the limitation. Yeah, you cannot add more than 5, like maximum 5. So let me add it quickly. In some case it is really useful. Okay, if you can able to add range, it will be really very useful. Okay, so that's why, yeah, sorry, I have to provide CIDR. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Let me add number 6. Okay, it will definitely not accept this. Yeah, okay, has made the maximum number allowed is like a 5 CIDR range. So in some case you may require this. Okay, otherwise it is okay to use one range, like it is more than enough. Okay, so I just explain you. Okay, I'm going to work with only one range, right? So it is okay. Let me close this. Yeah, so now our first step is successfully done. We are having our own VPC, but after that, inside the VPC you have to deploy subnet. Yeah, without this, like without subnet, it won't work. Okay, so right now I'm having VPC. Let me go to the EC2. Okay, and let me launch the instance. See, yeah, I already explained in the previous video that without VPC you cannot, but right now we are having VPC. Yeah, this is my first VPC that we are getting over here, but see this, like we don't have subnet, and because we don't have subnet we cannot deploy our EC2 instance again. Okay, so after creating VPC, our next journey start with the subnets. Yeah, right now I don't have any subnet. Okay, so let me talk about subnet using this mind map. Okay, so here is like a subnet. It is just over, so I'm going to complete this subnet. Okay, 3 points that you have to understand about the subnet. A subnet is a range of IP address in your VPC. You can launch AWS resources into the specified subnet. First thing, a subnet must be reside entirely within a one availability zone and cannot span zones. Yeah, so let me go over here and I am going to explain you, like let me, yeah, make it big. Okay, so this is like our VPC. Okay, and the VPC we are creating subnet. Yeah, so let me search this. Yeah, like right now I'm having this subnet. Yeah, so yeah, this is a subnet that we are creating. Okay, now keep this in mind. Okay, you cannot create subnet. One second. Like subnet cannot span into the multiple availability zone. Yeah, this is not possible. Subnet is limited to that particular availability zone, and whenever you are creating subnet you have to specify availability zone. Yeah, so actually this is like the picture that you are seeing right now. Okay, and if you have resources, actually you are deploying your EC2 instance and everything inside the subnet. Yeah, inside the subnet. So for example, if I want to deploy my resources in AP South 1A, actually I am selecting the subnet which is there into that particular availability zone. Yeah, and if you want to deploy your resources in AP South 1B, right now you cannot. Yeah, you cannot. Like you may have question like why? Because right now AP South 1B don't have any subnet. Yeah, if you are going to deploy this, you will not get this option over there. So subnet is like you have to create this. Without subnet you cannot deploy resources into that particular availability zone. Yeah, now keep this in mind. Okay, you cannot span, yeah, your subnet into the multiple availability zone for sure. Yeah, but the matter is you can create multiple subnet. Yeah, you can create multiple subnet into the single availability zone if you want to do that. Okay, so keep this in mind. Okay, now I want to create only one subnet. Okay, I want to create, like I don't want to create more than one subnet. Okay, let me create a one subnet. Okay, like I want to make it simple, so I'm going to create a one subnet. Now whenever you are going to create a subnet, you have to provide IP address range, and this IP address range must belong to the same range that is we use when we created our VPC. Yeah, so for example, let me give name over here. So this is like our my first VPC, okay, and we just assign IP address range over here is like 192.168.0.0/24. Yeah, now whenever I'm going to create subnet, okay, don't worry about private subnet, we'll talk about this. Whenever you are going to create subnet, you have to assign this particular IP address range to the subnet, but this particular range must belongs to this IP address. Yeah, let me explain you this properly and how I can do this. So right now, let me close this. Okay, I am in my VPC and the next step is subnet. So right now I'm going to click subnet. Okay, and when you click create subnet, you have to provide a VPC ID. Yeah, so look at over here. Yeah, we have VPC and inside the VPC we are having subnet. So I just provided this VPC ID. Okay, so this is my first VPC. Okay, now when you click like when you provided VPC ID, yeah, it will give you name, like you have to provide name. So let me provide name is a subnet _1. Okay, and then you have to provide your availability zone as I explain you over here. See, yeah, we are going to create this subnet _1 over here. Okay, so yeah, it is done. Let me give name. Okay, and then I'm going to select AP South 1A, same as this particular scenario, and then I have to provide IP address range. Okay, now I'm going to provide a full IP address range. Okay, for example 192.168.0.0/24. okay, now you may have question like, okay, what will happen if I'm going to provide another IP address range? Let me try. Okay, because this is really important topic, so we are going to learn this very carefully. Okay, so let me give any address range. Yeah, 192.168.2.0/24, like I can give any. So just let me assign this range. Okay, it is accepting, there is no error, but let me click create subnet. See, the CIDR range is invalid. Why? Because we have to provide range which is belonging to that particular VPC ID. Okay, so you may have question, can I able to provide the same range? Yes, you can. Okay, so let me give IP 192.168.0.0/24. okay, now click and create subnet. Yeah, so it is done. Okay, and we are getting same exact scenario right now. Okay, we are getting exact scenario right now. So it is done, and now I can create my EC2 instance. Okay, so let me go to the EC2 instance. Okay, and I'm going to click launch instance. Here is like Amazon Linux, selecting it. Yeah, and now I'm not getting any error. This is really good news. But the matter is, whenever I'm going to select this, it is AP South, it is giving me subnet _1, and it is giving me option like AP South 1A. So now you may have question, okay, but I want to deploy my resources in AP South 1B. I'm already having one server in AP South 1A, and I want to deploy my resources, my server into the other server, like into the other availability zone. So how can I do this? Okay, so for that you have to create subnet into another availability zone. Yeah, so for example, I don't have any subnet in AP South 1B or C. That's why I cannot able to deploy resources. Yeah, because you are actually deploying your resources into the subnet. Yeah, not availability zone. So subnet must be there inside the availability zone. Okay, now let me create this. Okay, let me create this. So again, the process will be like same. Yeah, this is subnet. So I'm in VPC, go to the subnet. Okay, then click create subnet, select your VPC. Yeah, it will be same process. Yeah, I want to create in AP South 1B. So let me give name subnet _B. Okay, let me draw this. Okay, okay, I'm going to close this. Okay. Now this time I will select AP South 1B, yeah, as per our term, and here is the CIDR range. Okay, so now I will be in trouble, okay, because I just assigned this particular IP address range to this particular subnet 192.168.0. Like I use entire IP address range with this particular subnet. Now if I want to provide any IP address range to this particular subnet, I cannot use, because I just assigned full range to that particular subnet _1. Okay, so I don't have any IP address range for subnet 2. Now this IP address range cannot overlap with each other. Yeah, if you assign 192.168.0.0/24 over here, you cannot assign to the next subnet. Yeah, so now if you want to assign it, let me try this. Okay, so okay, and click create subnet. I just want to explain you like what the error you will get. Yeah, CIDR range overlap with the existing subnet CIDR. Yeah, we are already having this CIDR range with this AP subnet _1, so we cannot. Okay, so now you may have question, okay, so how can I do this? Okay, so in this case you must have knowledge of IP address. Yeah, and you have to understand the subnetting fundas. Okay, and if you have knowledge of IP, you can create 2 subnet and then you can deploy these 2 subnet. Yeah, but right now if you don't have, no problem. I'm going to use subnet calculator. You can download it, it is easy. Okay, and then you can use it. Okay, let me verify this. Yeah, I'm having this subnet calculator in my computer. Okay, so you just need to assign this, like, okay, see, I want to this is my IP 192.168.0.0. yeah, I don't have any option to make it large. Okay, and we are having this /24. okay, and here is a mask bit and everything over here. So here we have this number of subnet 1. Okay, so if you can use this subnet calculator and just select 2 subnet, okay, and then click generate subnet, so it will give you this detail. Yeah, we are having 192.168.0.0. So this will be like 255.255.128, or we can use mask bit /25, and the second range would be 192.168.0.128, and same mask bit we can use. Yeah, so this is how you can create a multiple subnet of IP address. Yeah, so I can use this. So what I will do over here is, let me go to this. Yeah, we are having 192.168.0.0, and I can, let me give small name. Yeah, I will give name like S1, and I will use 192.168.0.0/25 over here, and in S2 I will use 192.168.0.128/25. yeah, if you don't have knowledge, no need to worry. Like, see, this is a range given by subnet calculator. Yeah, so if you are using this particular range, yeah, 192.168.0.0/25, the range would be 192.168.0.1 to 192.168.0.126, and in the other subnet, this is the, like, it will start with the 192.168.0.128, and the range would be from 192.168.0.129 to 192.168.0.255. yeah, if you feel any difficulties, don't worry, use subnet calc. You can ask question in the Telegram group. Okay, we will talk about this in a inner circle meeting. Yeah, so you can just message me. Okay, so don't worry about this. If you have a problem with the IP address, don't worry. Okay, so now I have to use like this. Okay, so first of all, I cannot edit the subnet, right? I cannot edit the subnet, so I cannot create subnet 2 right now. So the first is like I have to edit subnet 1, because I just assign all the IP address range to subnet 1. So in this case, let me delete this. Okay, you cannot modify, you cannot edit, so let me delete the subnet. Okay, you have to type delete. Okay, and let me create the subnet. So again, VPC, I'm going to give name AS1. yeah, look at over here. Okay, it will map with the AP South 1A. So I'm going to select AP South 1A, and IP address range would be 192.168.0.0/25. Okay, and then click create subnet. Okay, now I'm going to create another subnet, and this time it will be successful. Again, same situation, selecting this VPC. Okay, and going to give name like AS2, and availability zone would be AP South 1B, and I have to select like 192.168.0.128/24. okay, I just using this. Okay, 128/25, sorry. Yeah, I'm using this, and I got this from the advanced subnet Kelsey. If you want, like if you have knowledge of IP, you can create your own. Yeah, don't worry about it, and this is included, so you don't need to, yeah, you just need to spend some time to understand the IP, right? So this is how it works. Okay, and now create subnet. Yeah, I got it. Like I can able to create it successfully. Yeah, now my both subnets are ready. Okay, and now go to the go to the EC2. Okay, and try to launch your instance. Okay, so now you are like, there is no error, and here we have this VPC. If you want to deploy your resources in AP South 1A, you can select. If you want to deploy your resources in AP South 1B, you can. Now you may have question like, okay, but I want to deploy my resources in AP South 1C. Can I do this? Okay, my answer is no right now, because you don't have any subnet. If you want to create resources into the AP South 1C, you have to deploy your, like you have to create subnet first. Now you cannot create subnet because we just use entire range between these two subnet. So you have to plan early, and like you can create 3 subnet. Now maybe you cannot create, like when you go over here, yeah, and when you find this, like you cannot create 2 subnets, so you have to create either a 4 subnet, or you have to use VLSM technique, and then you can create, like you can create subnet. Yeah, but if you have question like, okay, that is like I understand, okay, because you explain us that you cannot edit subnet. Now in this case I have to delete this subnet. Yeah, I have to delete this subnet, and then I have to calculate this VLSM technique, how I create 3 subnet, and then I have to assign this. Yeah, you can do it, it is good. But sometimes what happens, like I plan everything. Yeah, my EC2 instances and everything is there in AP South 1A and B, like in subnet 1 and subnet 2. Okay, now I cannot delete my subnet if you have resources. Okay, so if you have resources inside the subnet, you cannot delete this. Okay, so the problem is, so in this case, how I can use AP South 1C, because I cannot modify this, and now I want to use AP South 1C, right? Why? Then if you have already resources deploy inside the subnet. Yeah, if you don't have any resources, like a subnet is empty, you can delete it, create it easy, but you cannot delete your subnet if there is a EC2 instance or any resources are there. So in this case, like how I can use 3rd subnet. Yeah, so yeah, we have this option. For example, you can go to the AWS management console. Yeah, you go to the VPC. I already explained you can add more than like you can add up to 5 IP address range. Yeah, so in this case, what we can do is select your EC2 instance, go to extend menu, click edit CID array, add one range. Yeah, 192.168.1.0/24. okay, save. Right, now close and go to the subnet. Okay, and create a subnet, like create subnet. Okay, VPC. Now I'm going to give name like AS3. Okay, AP South 1C, and You cannot assign 192.168.0.0/24 or anything, because we use this entire range between A and B. Okay, so for C we can use like entire address range with AP South 1C, or if you want to make a subnetting of this, you can use this. And the fourth subnet, like if you are going to create another subnet, you can create one subnet with AP South 1C and one subnet will be for the future use. Yeah, you can do this, but let me assign the entire range. Yeah, and let me create. See, I can able to successfully create this. Okay, now let me explain you same with this. Okay, so now we are having another third subnet. Okay, and this subnet is S3, and we are having 192.168.1.0/24 address range. Yeah, so this is how it works. We are having all three subnet, and now we can deploy our EC2 instances in all the subnets. Yeah, so there are many questions. Yeah, for example, if I am saying that this is my EC2 instance 1, yeah, so this is like a server 1, this is server 2, okay, and this is server 3. Like, okay, what is the communication between them? Can S1 able to communicate with S2 and S3? Can S2 able to communicate with S1 and S3? Yeah, so you may have many questions right now, but not today. Yeah, not in this video. We are like, I'm going to give answer of all your questions in the next video. Yeah, so I'm going to complete with this. Okay, and the next video will start from the same system. Yeah, I just taking a pause because this video is like a 31 minute. Okay, so I'm going to complete this and we will start part 2 from the same situation. Yeah, so don't worry, I hope you can able to understand this really complex matter of subnetting and all this. Yeah, I just use this type of the chart to make it very easy. Yeah, we are going to we will keep adding many options over here. Okay, so thank you very much for this. You can comment anytime. Okay, so thank you and see you. We are going to meet in the next video. Yeah, bye.